welcome to Real Time JC, Real Time Jesus with me, Stephanie. Today is episode 7, The Voice in Your Head, Receiving God's Grace. But first, today is also the beginning of our 3rd week together. Real Time JC is a brand new channel. It has only been alive for 2 weeks. So thank you guys. If you have already subscribed, if you've already shared this channel, thank you for doing that. But if it's your first time joining me today, hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss a thing. New devotions come out Wednesdays, Fridays, and Mondays. Why did I say it that way? Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and then some snippets in between. And my hope is that you feel the hope of God, you feel the love of God, you feel encouraged through this time together, and that you share it with your friends so that through God, we are multiplying His goodness and His love and His grace and His hope and His faithfulness. So thank you again, and let's dig in. So Isaiah 61, 2-3, it says, I am sent to announce a new season of Yahweh's grace and a time of God's recompense on His enemies, to comfort all who are in sorrow, to strengthen those crushed by despair who mourn in Zion, to give them a beautiful bouquet in the place of ashes, the oil of bliss instead of tears, and the mantle of joyous praise instead of the spirit of heaviness. Because of this, they will be known as mighty oaks of righteousness, planted by Yahweh as a living display of His glory. Wow. I don't know about you, but there have been times in my life that I have felt out of place. I have maybe questioned God, maybe doubted who He is, maybe doubted His promises. I have definitely walked through some moments of compromise. I have walked through divorce. I have walked through family members going through a very painful time of mourning, of loss, of physical pain like cancer. I have walked through friendships feeling destroyed, and just so much more. And in those moments, I know God has been there, but to be completely authentic, sometimes I've not felt worthy. Sometimes I felt like I'm not enough. Sometimes I have felt shame. I've felt guilt. I've not felt like I can step into the person that He created me to be because of fear of other people's opinion of me. And I am here to tell you today that that's not what God intends for us, for me. It's not what He intended for me. Have you experienced a time in life where either you have compromised, where maybe you have been the one that has destroyed a relationship, or you have been the one who has fallen into sin and has hurt people, has walked deeper and deeper and deeper, knowing you have been in that sin and chosen to make those compromises? Have you felt through a situation or a circumstance like I have felt, walking through a divorce, like the grief of time lost, of feeling like you have put all of your heart and soul into this relationship, and maybe it's not a husband or a wife or spouse, but maybe it's a mom or a dad or a child, and you've done all that you can do, and yet you still had to walk away because that is the path that God was telling you to go. And you feel like, I feel like I've just lost so much time. How can this even be a new beginning when I feel like I've gone so far and there's just all of this time that you felt like you've wasted? Well, in Joel 2:25, God says, I will repay you for the years the locusts have eaten. And realistically, Joel 2:25 is a word of promise to all who return to the Lord with sincere and broken hearts. And if you've repented for the times that you've compromised, if you've repented for the sin and you've turned around and you've done an about face, and you know that God has forgiven you, there's no reason why you need to continue to walk with shame and guilt, because that's exactly what the enemy wants you to do. He wants to steal and destroy and take away all of the things that God has planned for you. Charles Spurgeon said it really, really good. You cannot have back your time, but there is a strange and wonderful way in which God can give back to you the wasted blessings, the unripened fruits of years over which you mourned. And specifically, I mean, that is those are beautiful words. If you've walked not in just compromise, but maybe if you've walked in that grief of time lost with a relationship. But moving beyond that, he says, it is a pity that they should have been locust eaten by your folly and negligence. But if they have been so, be not hopeless concerning them. Wow. I mean, that's pretty incredible. Also, Joel tells us in Joel 2:13, God's character encourages us to repent and return to him. And so in Joel 2:13, it says, he is gracious and compassionate. He's slow to anger and abounding in love. That ought to motivate us to seek his face. And why is that? Because I think a lot of us who have not experienced a relationship or a father or a mother or a spouse or a best friend who is slow to anger, who is compassionate, who is abounding in love. If we don't know what that feels like, sometimes it's hard for us to trust in a God who is those things. He literally created those things. He invented love. He invented grace. He invented compassion. He invented hope. He invented all of the good things that have ever been. He is those things. Like, he is comprised of them. They're part of his DNA, and it's just incredible. So today, I want you to really think about what voice is in your head, what voice is feeding you. And as you start to really think about those things and maybe write those things down and counteract those things of the enemy, because really, realistically, if those are the things in your head, those things, if they are, let's see, they're overwhelming, things that are overwhelming you, if they're voices that are distracting you, if they're voices that are tempting you, if they're not melodies of triumph, if they're not a war cry of triumph, then that is the enemy. That is the enemy in your head and not Jesus. Jesus says that his strength will overcome your weakness. It will overcome your weakest flaw until every part of you is full of the energy of grace. I mean, how cool is that? So never let go of the passion of holiness inside of you, because your holy obsession with God, you seeking him and looking for him in everything, finding him in spite of what you walk through, in spite of what you have walked through, that is what will set you apart from others, and his glory will shine through you today. So just wanted to encourage you, remember, as you change and you grow, your song and your faith will be your portion. It will be your portion. And endless songs of joy will start to impermeate. I don't even know if that's a word. Infiltrate. It will infiltrate your soul and your spirit, and you will be filled with his grace. So love you all. Thank you for joining me today. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And I will see you soon for the next Real Time JC.